Well, welcome back everyone. You join me on a very crisp morning at Llantwit Cliff, where I'm on my own. I should be with Ollie, but he didn't get up in time. He obviously forgot to set an alarm this morning, so I was sat outside this house for like half hour and I thought, oh, I can't be bothered, I'm out of here. So I'm on my own. So thanks Ollie, much appreciated, you messer. So yeah, we are on Llantwit Cliff trying for, well, anything going really, because the fishing at the minute is very poor. It's not easy at the minute, so every bite counts. So I'm literally just fishing flappers and clip downs and stuff to see what we can find. Now ideally, if there's one thing that I want the most, it'd be a rockling for the tank, because obviously I've got a bucket, as you can probably see there. So yeah, I've been fishing for a bit already. I got here when it was still dark, and I had a dog on my third cast, and I dropped a fish that felt like an eel, and that's it so far. So there's a couple of fish out there. It's not completely dead. I beat the blank. I know you haven't seen it, but I have, I promise. So yeah, let's, I think I've got a bite on my rat rod, so I'm going to bait a rig up now, so I'll bring you back for that. And then, hopefully, if I reel on that right rod, there might be something on there. So yeah, let's get this rig baited up first. Right, so, rigs, as you can imagine, just 3-hook flappers. Oh, that was a bite then, I think. See my rod shaking. We'll see. But I did start off with something a bit different, is 3-hook flappers made up with really short 7-inch hook links and little size 4 circles. And I started missing a few bites on them. Well, not missing them, they were going, and by the time we got to the rod, they'd stopped. So I don't know whether it's too short. I've never really used hook links this short before. I just thought I'd give it a go. And it didn't seem to work. And then I put a longer hook link on, and then I had a dog straight away on it. So what was that then? Something's definitely happening. Every time I look around, something's going on. Something's making an inquiry, I think. But I've swapped now to slightly longer hook links. They're probably about 10-inch. And J hooks. I would rather use circles, as you know. But I haven't got any rigs in my rig wallet with small enough circles, so I'd use J hooks for this morning. So bait wise, got some nice ragworm that I picked up from Halton Road Angling after work yesterday. I was fishing with some worm, and I also picked up some crab, got some sardine, squid, and one bait that I've hardly ever used, and that is carp. It's not really the best bait for round here, in my opinion. The only thing I've ever caught on it is conger eels, and whoever I really spoke to said the same. So I thought I'd just give it a go. I haven't got a bite, I haven't had a bite on it yet. I'll use it on my next rig. Just want to put a bit of crab up there now, because rockling do prefer crab than anything else. You'll have them on other baits, but especially over the mixed to rough ground, crab is definitely the better bait to go with. But obviously it's understandable, a lot of people wouldn't use crab for scratching because it's not the cheapest bait. So most people would rather save the crab for the hounds and just bigger fish generally. So yeah, but I think I'd rather have the best bait for whatever I'm fishing for, and crab is the best bait by a long shot for this kind of fishing. Put a bit of crab on the bottom as well, I think. Or should we try a bit of cart? That's it there, look. Not really. It's a bit weird. It's almost like jelly, like tough jelly. Let's try a bit. Nothing to lose. I suppose I got the chance of losing a rockling. Losing the chance of catching a rockling. It's very strange. It almost looks man-made. Don't really think I'm going to to catch anything on it, but we shall see. If any of you have done well with it in South Wales or just anywhere generally, drop in the comments. It'd be interesting to see everyone else's opinion on it. Up north east they catch a lot of cod on it, but I don't know, I've never heard anyone do well with it around here, specifically when it comes to cod fishing. I mean, around here, I mean, your best bet for just getting a cod generally, you can't really beat sort of blow lug, crab and ragworm really. I mean, the blacks work well. I've never really done well with it myself. But obviously, as well, squid is probably your best bet nowadays because you've got a better chance of catching other fish. So squid will catch you anything, and if a cod comes past, you still got a chance of catching them. But anyway, enough boring chit chat about something we definitely ain't going to catch today. Let's be fair, we ain't catching no cod. But yeah, that's that rig baited up. So I got worm on the top, crab on the middle one, and strange old cart on the bottom. Anyway, let's check that right rod. Let's see if anything's on there. Alright, let's see if anything is on this rod. It's definitely had a few bites on it. Not feeling too hopeful, people. Not feeling too hopeful. Nope. That worm bait's been bashed up quite a bit. So we definitely had to go at that. Crab baits are untouched though. Well, let's try again, shall we? Keep trying. Now on this mark, you really don't need to fish far. Even for the bigger fish, you'd be surprised how close in they come. I'm literally just going to lob that out. Not very far at all. It's more than deep enough for the fish we're targeting. Well guys, that rig that I just cast out, that you see me cast out and bait up and everything, I put the rod down, I had a boom 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 bite, and just after, well, that was just after I turned the camera off, and I reeled it in, and I seen him flap along the surface, and I thought, oh, we got one. And we have indeed. We got a rockling. I've been wanting to catch one for ages for the tank. I finally got one. I've actually got a bite on my right hand rod. I put the fish in the bucket and I quickly reel the rods in, put crab on a couple of the hooks and flick them back out there. And I've got a bite on my right hand rod already. So fingers crossed, it'll be the only one we catch this morning. But people say they're ugly, but they look wicked to me. Massive mouth on them, proper greedy fish. That's quite a good size one actually. I'm going to get it and hook now. I don't want to keep out the water for too long, obviously, for obvious reasons. He's not too badly hooked. He should survive fine. That's the hook out anyway. Oh, as you can see, very lively. I'll just leave him in the bucket. Let him do his thing. And fingers crossed we get another one. As I said, on the crab, they do love crab rockling. If you do a lot of match fishing and all that, you would know, because obviously, especially around here, a lot of the match fishing on rough ground, when you're fishing for bits, rockling is very sort of popular fish in the match scene around here. So yeah, buzzing. Mission accomplished. I can't wait to get them in the tank now. They look wicked. I can't wait to show you. They look really cool. So, let's get some crab out the cooler box now. Get them hooks baited back up with the same. And fingers crossed we get another one. Or a nice pouting or something. I'm happy with whatever now. I've got my main target, so job done. Well, the bites have certainly slowed down now. It's like someone's turned the switch off. Well, I got a bite on my left one that's giving the odd little taps every now and then. But I was getting bites most casts early on. There was a bit of tide there, and they were obviously in that tide. Yeah, it's definitely a bite on my left one. But with there being no tide, it's just, they are quite hard to hook sometimes. But I've got slightly bigger hooks on my right rod with circles. I think they're 1/0s or size 1s, whatever they are. And I put them further out. On my left one's the same 3/8 flapper. And I put it just a little bit further out than the past few casts. And obviously the usual crab and ragworm on there. And I've also got a third rod out now, just to use up a bit of bait really, because I've still got quite a bit left. I haven't gone as much, I haven't gone through as much as I thought I would. Let's check this one anyway. It's definitely been going. Whether there's something on there or not, I have no idea. Well, let's find out anyway. Well, it's stuck for a start. Oh no. It was stuck and I was moving. What's this then? Is that a fish? Almost feels like dead lines. More than a fish. Don't really do. It feels quite twangy as it's coming up. But my shock leader is spinning. Like there's a fish on there. Yeah, got a fish. Is that a Neil? I don't even see, I think there's a conger eel. Bonga, bonga. It might bite me off, I have no idea. I'll try and get up to show you though. We got him. If he can be quick and not let him trash my rig up. There we are. Very good. I'll beat that on. Crab. That other one's gone slack. Very slack. Well, there we go. There he is. A conger eel. Unfortunately, he's bleeding for some reason. I don't know how, because it's hooked in the lip. I don't know how he's bleeding, but I got a feeling he was hooked deeply, and obviously as he's spat the hook out, it's got hooked again because the hook link is quite frayed above the hook. So sort him out now, send him on his way. But somehow I've managed to tangle up my line. There we go. So unclip that rig there. There we go though. Let's get him straight back. I don't want that in my tank. As cool as the congers are in the fish tank, I don't want another one because they'll eat all the pouting I got in there. Another species. I'm happy. Like I said, the way the fishing is at the minute, it's nice to catch anything, so I'm happy with today's result so far. I think I have to put a new rig on now because it's trashed my hook link. Typical. Well, that is another session done. I have got a little bit more fishing time left really. There's still enough depth of the water there to keep fishing. Well, you can fish until the tide pushes off the cliff, because there's still enough depth of water where you're casting. But the bites are so slow, it's not really worth hanging around for, to be honest. And as soon as that tide east is when the bites completely east. So I've made an executive decision to leave. I'm going to get my last, well, although the other rods are all packed up, it's just this one really, and then get that rig away, pack all my gear up, and then get back to the van. And I'll bring you back when I do get back to the van. We'll get Rocky the rockling in the cooler box there that I've got full of water from the tank, and yeah, head back to the house then and show you guys putting Rocky in the tank. I can't think of a better name than Rocky really for the rockling. Rocky the rockling. Well, hasn't been the most productive session, but to be honest, the way fishing's been recently, I'm happy. I had an eel, a dog and a rockling, and I lost a eel earlier on actually before I put the camera on. Only a little tiny one. But yeah, got what I come for though. Got the rockling. So yeah, I'll see you back at the van. I just got back to the van. I've got my cooler box like last time. If any of you didn't watch my last video, I have a cooler box full of water from the tank that I keep in my van, so I don't have to carry a whole bucket of water back to the car. And then we just pour them in. And there's more than enough water then for him until I get home. So sweet, got the rockling. Right, I'm gonna get out of here now. I'll see you back at the tank. Right, we are now back at the tank. From the last video, there's not really any different other than an extremely fat rockling. He might be pregnant, you know, because he's, well, it won't be a he, it'll be a her obviously, but her belly looks huge, like weirdly huge compared to the rest of them, so it might be pregnant. I'll have some baby rockling soon. But another thing that is different I'm a bit worried about is the Gurner's not doing too well. I think he's getting to the end of his time in the tank. It's just, it doesn't really eat so well. Well, generally though, like aside from your pouting, whiting, rockling, that kind of fish, all the summer species like the bass and the mullet and the Gurnard, they don't feed so much when it's cold. Like the chiller, I knock it off in the winter because it's pointless it being on. It's more than cold enough, obviously. So yeah, let's get that rockling in. Well, if I drag him by here, he's doing beautifully. Was that net? This is going to look very cool in the tank. It's quite a nice size one as well, really. Big enough to be quite a cool fish. To be like, obviously you'll see it well. But small enough where it's got loads of like growing to do. Look at that. Bit of sand, that's just a bit of sand from in the net. That gritty stuff. As you could probably tell, he stands out like a sore thumb because of his colour. The bright orange, reddy colours. Yeah, very cool fish, the rockling. I'm debating whether to go out tomorrow. But the marks that I'd be tempted to go in, there is the Shore League, if any of you know, it's basically a 5-man team event. And the areas where it's good fishing for them, there is that match. So I'll probably go out somewhere and do something, I'd imagine, try and get some more. But also something I wanted to show you was, if you watched the video where I went to the old harbour in Barry and watched how bait and caught a bass, and they had the hook link coming out of his mouth, and I named it Tracy. I was going to try just cut the line off, but I managed to get the hook up without killing it, and I kept it to show you. Oh, so here it is, the hook from in Tracy's mouth. It's a circled hook. It's probably like a 3-0, I'd imagine, 3-0 or 4-0, something like that. And it just goes to show, when people say, when you get a deeply hooked fish like a ray or whatever, and people say just cut the line, it'll rust out in a few days. It won't rust out in a few days. it's going to take a long time for that to come out. I mean, that hook, it's got rust on it, but it's so fresh where you can scratch it off the hook. Still really sharp. Barb's still there. I mean, if the barb is still there, that hasn't even rusted off, and that's a little thin bit of metal coming off of it. There is a dongle there, if you can see that, but it's all mangled and sort of tangled in with each other. So yeah, that was the hook out of Tracy, and she's doing just fine. She's still quite skinny. She hasn't been feeding well. But like I said, in the winter, a lot of the summer species don't really feed so much anyway. But another thing you can see is the pouting have gone really dark. But that porcod, I'll get the camera on the hand grip now and show you better, but there's a porcod over there, and that hasn't darkened, but the pouting, they've gone really dark. And you'll get that when fishing in clear water. Like you'll see on the carp fishing scene, you get the really murky lakes where it's quite milky. The carp tend to be a lot paler. And you get the lakes where it's more clear, they tend to be darker fish. So yeah, that's that. Tracy was saved. There he is, there she is. Looking just fine. Another thing you might have noticed, I'm not in a splint. I should still have it on, but as you can see, look. See the scar there? That's what happened. They basically just stitched an M on my thumb. So I might see if they can do an A on my other thumb as my initials then. But I'll give that a miss for now. That's been enough of a pain. I still can't really do anything with it, to be honest. I still can't cast a multiplier. Well, I can only bend it that much, which is nothing really. Got stretches to do and cream to rub on it and all that, but get in there. Yeah, that's the rockling done. I'll show you them in a minute. But I need to feed them because I haven't fed them in a couple of days, so I'll get some food out the freezer now to frost that down and bring you back. Alright guys, it's actually a couple of days after that first part of the video. Something came up and I had to shoot off, so it is now, well, I say that's almost a week ago, that video that I took, went out fishing, had that rockling. And he's actually around there. I'll get the camera and show it to you in a minute, but I got some treats for the fish, look, some nice celebrations, but they're not celebrations, they're mackerel and sardines. So I'm just gonna cut a few of these up and see what we can get to feed. I don't know if I said in the first part of the video, but fish don't, from what I've found with this tank anyway, is they don't seem to feed that well through the winter months when it's so cold. I mean, the water's now, I think it's around, oh, it's turned off now, around 5 degrees, which is colder than the sea. I would put a little heater in there, but I don't want to disturb it too much, so I've left it for now. They seem pretty happy enough. They're very active, swimming around. They don't feed nowhere near as much as they would in the summer, as you can imagine, but they are still feeding enough to keep it as I've got it. There's a bit of mackerel chunked up there. Still a bit frozen, it's floating still. Gurnard's got it. See if them pouting, there we are, the pouting's got it. The bass having a good feed as well. Now, since I have taken that trace out of its mouth, it has started feeding properly, which is good to see. It's still quite skinny, mind, so hopefully now it's feeding properly, it'll get nice and chunky. I don't quite think the rockling's going to feed like it will when it properly settles in, but if it does smell the food and it wants a feed, it will come out. I'm just going to chunk up this sardine and chuck that in, but I'm not going to go too crazy. There's already a few bits, if you can see, on the floor there. I don't want to leave too much on the floor because I haven't got any crabs in here at the minute to sort of clear up what the fish don't eat. So I'll leave it for the day. I mean, it's 12 o'clock now, it's midday. So I'll give it till the evening. I'll let it go dark because sometimes they feed differently when it's dark. This rockling here is having a bit of a go on it. The bits are too big that I put in for him, so cut smaller bits up. Yeah, so I'm going to get some crabs in here because if there are bits of food that get left in the rocks and stuff and the fish don't eat it, it doesn't really do the tank any good because the filtration system has to work a lot more to obviously clean that, all the stuff out the water. I'll leave it as that for now and see how they do. Oh, that bass seems to be eating a bit. The rockling hasn't come out just yet. I'll leave them there for a minute and we'll feed the fish in the sump tank next, the mullet in there. I'll just take a fillet off of the mackerel and feed the mullet in there now. Right, so here's a sump tank which has mainly just got a load of little mullet in there. There's a few rockling in there as well. You can see all them. I'm sure you can see them. There's a rockling at the back there. It's just coming in now. There he is. Right, so what I do for these mullet is I just fillet a mackerel and then I rip all the skin off and mush the meat up because they haven't got, you know, the capabilities to rip all the like skin up. You can see them when they feed, they just, say if I put it by here, if any of you do any mullet fishing, you'll know exactly what I mean. They just rip it at it, suck it in, blow it back out. And if there was skin on that, they wouldn't really be able to do a great deal with it. It's the size of their mouths. Yeah, they're pretty cool little fish actually, the mullet. The rockling down back there getting stuck in as well. But as for the big tank, there's still a little bit of food left on the floor there, you can see it. A pork cod there. You can see the difference between a pork cod and a that's a pork cod, quite narrow bodied fish, compared to a pouting. There's a lot of a deeper diamond shaped fish. There's a few pouting in now though. Now you can see the rockling's tail there. And there's a big fat rockling back there, proper fat one. Gurnard there, Gary the Gurnard. What else can we see? Well, there's a green eel there, just underneath that rock. Coming up to say hello. Walked in like that. And hopefully that bass starts getting a bit, I don't know if you can see it now, it's sort of face on, it's quite skinny. So now that trace is out, it's been out for a little while, hopefully it can start feeding properly and get back to normal. But you can see the mullet, they're not really able to properly feed, they just pick up all the little tiny bits around it. And they're rockling, trying to rip some up. Right, well I think that's that video done really. I can't think of anything else worth showing really at the minute. I'm going to try and head out tomorrow to get some more fish for it. Hopefully some rockling. And while I'm out fishing, because if I go it'll be low water, so I'll be trying to find some crabs as well to bring back for the tank. But if I can, I'll do my best to catch some more rocklings. Okay, he's tucked in now. Get the camera, I'll show you now. Now he's on show. There he is, Rocky the rockling. Wicked colours on them. For a British fish, they're pretty cool looking, if you ask me. Same as the wrasse, really, aren't they? Quite colourful. Let's get that camera back up on there. Well, as I was saying, I'm going to try and get out tomorrow, hopefully. And if I do, with the weather that we got coming in and the tides, I think I'll probably head down to Llantwit, I'd imagine. Get on the rough ground, try and catch them pouting, and well, I think it's, well, yeah, it'll be on the same mark that I done a video with my dad actually, where I caught that big pouting, the big pork chop, whatever I called it. It'll be back in that spot. So I'm going to be doing another video soon, because I'm thinking of changing the rock formation in here to possibly that side, because there's more light coming in from that way, so you could probably see into them better, or possibly along the back. Just scattered along the back, because a lot of the fish hide in there. So if you can see it along the back, you can see all the little fish hiding in there a bit better maybe. So yeah, we'll see. And also get some seaweed in here. I'm gonna have a bit of research into that, into how to sort of keep it alive and things. And if you watched my first video I done on the tank, you would have seen that and heard that I go down to Rock and Critters, just down here at the Bendricks by Sully. So I'll probably go down to them to speak to them for advice on keeping the seaweed alive and what to put in the water to help and everything, and what levels to check out for also. So yeah, that's my next mission anyway. So until then, and as usual, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.